Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pablo Malgo from the Developing Dreams Foundation. We're a not-for-profit organization, and we specialize providing professional performance opportunities, arts education for aspiring and professional artists. You can learn more about that at www.developingdreamsfoundation.org, and that's developing dreams with an S. Okay, so this is Lmms. It's a free digital audio workstation. There are various options available on the market um, for different price points. This one is free, so I teach this to my kids in after school programs so that they can go home, download it to their computer, and get started right away without having to worry about waiting around or saving the money and getting a DAW when they can. So this is a pretty decent full function DAW for free, and the link to download this is down below the video. So if you don't have it as yet, please go down there, download it, open it up, and you can work together with us. Great. Okay, so let's take a look at the program really quickly. Let me give you a quick overview. Alrighty. So you have new project here. You have new project from template. Templates are nice because sometimes you open the project and it's open just the way you want it and ready to go. You don't have to mess around and do anything else. This is open existing project, something that you've already done before. This is open a project that you've done recently, one of the past 5 or so. This is save. This is export, meaning send it to an MP3 file, listen to it on your headphones or in your car, etc. Information button, you click information, and then you go to another button and it tells you what that button's function is. This is the metronome. It keeps the timing of the tempo or the beats per minute. Um, we're going to use that here in a second to give you an idea what that is. The beats per minute is how fast or slow the song is, just to give you a rough idea. Not that this is a rule of thumb, but something you should probably keep in mind. Basic boom bap hip hop is from like 80 beats per minute to about 95 beats per minute. Up-tempo hip-hop and R&B is about 96 to about 113. A lot of electronic or dance music is about 120 to about 140. Dubstep, I've seen like 160. Trap music, I've seen around 130, 140 quite often, even though it can be done at a much slower pace. And I'll show you the advantages of doing something at a high tempo like that, some more swing and flavor into your beats. Okay, so here we have what is called the song editor. Here we have the beats and bass line editor. Here we have the piano roll. We'll be using that a lot. Automation. We'll get into that later video. This is your mixer, where you'll have a mixing channel for each one of your instruments, or let's say each one of your patterns maybe. You can choose which one you prefer. This is where you can make notes, write songs, or however you will. And this here is the control rack button. We won't be using that for a while, so I'll get out of there. This is the length of the song. This is your time signature. A lot of songs are made in 4/4. Classical and jazz uses, and other styles of music use a lot of variations in the time signature, but for the most part, pop, country, hip hop, um, alternative is going to be 4/4. This is your volume. You can pitch the entire project, and this is your CPU. Okay, over here on the left, you have a browser with the virtual synth instruments. I like to call them instruments on steroids because it's a lot of white noise and a lot of amped up sounds. Um, the next one here is some of your recently um, done projects. And the next one here is the samples and loops that come with the program. Here you have presets that you can put on the virtual synth instruments so that it's kind of EQ'd and processed for you in a way to give you a starting point. Then you can take that and manipulate it however you choose. Here I have my personal folders where I may keep my loops. And here, if I want to go to one of my hard drives, I can use this button and navigate a hard drive to import a sample or a loop. Okay. Here is a triple oscillator. It's pretty much like white noise type sound that you can manipulate and make into a sound. Um, Sample track, again, you can bring a sample in. Back in the old days, sampling was the way that we did this. We sampled records and we compiled it and we made a beat around that. And we're going to get into sampling in a much later point of this video. Beats and baseline editor. If you notice, this one says beat baseline 0. This says beat baseline 0. When I populate a pattern in this window and I left click here, it's going to play in this window. Okay, I can also play it in just this window, but once I get started, I'm going to play it here so I can kind of make my patterns according to the song that I'm creating. Um, so here I can create another pattern. Here is add a sample track. Um, Here I can control my automation. Here I can make the pattern less or I can make it more. And here I can copy something I've already done into a whole nother part of the same pattern. Where you see this here, it's 16 squares. Each square, each first square represents the one beat. One, two, three, four. Um, let's skip a square and go to the middle one. That's going to be and, and, and. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Remember I told you one bar has 4 beats. And if I didn't tell you that, I'm sorry, but each bar has 4 beats. Okay, you can put a lot of beats within that, but the standard is 4 beats for one bar. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. The squares that are left blank are a little bit more intricate. We'll get into that later, but you would count this like 1E and 2E and etc. Okay, great. So I'm going to come back here in a second. We're going to populate this pattern and we're going to start to make a song. Okay,